All right, I hope you're enjoying the presentation. And this is a video to show you how I create online content for my students to use within the flipped classroom. And since you're all marine people, I thought hopefully you'll find this interesting how we get to the plate of beautiful seafood at the end from the wild larva, the mussel larva at the very beginning. Um, and so probably some of you will know this, but it's pretty basic and just a nice way to explore the concept. So with every video, I have my learning objectives, or I try to, and this is a good thing at the very beginning of so people know what to review. And if any time I go too fast, you can just stop the video, go back and review at your own pace. So the first one is explain the life cycle of the mussels. That's what we're going to do. Then we're going to explain how young mussels disperse, and not in great detail, so don't worry about that. Describe where mussel larvae like to settle, and describe artificial mussel settlement surfaces. So here's your typical mussel life cycle. You start with the adult mussels attached to whatever they're attached to, the bottom or possibly a pile or a mussel rope. And being adult mussels in a group, they do what they do and they create some babies by broadcast spawning. They broadcast their eggs and sperm up into the water column for fertilization. And then these things are moved around. The babies, the little fertilized eggs, are turned into what are called larvae that actually swim, and they move around in the water column. And currents and water movement can do that. And so at some point they get ready to settle. They decide they've grown up long enough that they're ready to settle and become an adult. And this is when they're called spat on these filamentous algae. They tend to settle on small algae that is typically found in areas where mussels like to grow. So mussels, the algae are plants, so they need to grow near the surface because that's where light penetrates the best, and that's where the most phytoplankton for the mussels will be. And they are often reef associated, these small algae, and that's where mussels like to be as well. So the mussels settle on those algae, and then after a short period, they grow a little bit more, and then they migrate down to the bottom, and then start their life. So here is a typical type of algae, or three different types of algae: a green one, Caulerpa, red one, Rhodophyta, and a brown one, Halopterus. And all of these are found in around shallow reefs, and these are the type of filamentous small algae that you can find that mussels like to settle on. So in order to collect spat, so that we can easily collect them and we don't have to tear up reefs in order to get those mussel spat, then at times when there are massive amounts of little baby mussels in the water column looking to settle, if we provide them substrate that looks and is shaped a lot like the type of substrate they like to settle on, then they will. So we use something like this synthetic rope, and it can be made out of cotton or other fibrous natural materials as well to give them a place to settle. So here's a nice fibrous rope that's got lots and lots and lots of juvenile mussels settled onto it. And these can be taken off, manipulated, transported on this rope, and moved to someplace where they'll be able to be grown, put into a sock and grown on the farm. So at the end of the videos, I like to put a review screen up just to recap the material. And this one, for this video, mussels disperse in the larval stage using water movement and swimming. Okay, that's after they've been broadcast spawn and get fertilized. The larvae start swimming around and then find a place to settle. They tend to settle in areas likely to have mussels, which makes sense because if there are adult mussels there, that's probably a good place for you to live your life as a young mussel. And they prefer fine filamentous surfaces. And spat collecting surfaces are either synthetic or natural fibrous ropes. And that is the end of this video.